All right. And look, welcoming Michelle Smith. I knew you as Michelle Trelaw to Next Level Refs. Thanks very much, Michelle, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's great to reconnect.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those people listening today, I knew Michelle as an up-and-coming official who made her career right up to the FIFA level when in the mighty metropolis that is Canberra, and has since moved across to South Australia to take up the head of refereeing over there. So I guess, Michelle, today we're going to probably talk about things in two parts for yourself. One, your active career, and now I guess some of the things that you've learned along the way that can help the referees that are still out there and doing it, waving the flags and the whistles and the subs boards as well. So yeah, it's great to have you on board.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's get straight into it. So, Michelle, when and where did you start your refereeing career?
Well, I started my refereeing career like many other greats in Queensland.
Oh, okay. Those people.
Yeah. So I was a player, and then I took up coach. I played as a goalkeeper. Often there's a personality type that goes with a goalkeeper and tends to be a bit mouthy, right? So
you know what you're talking about.
So that's me. And then a period of time I was coaching as well, and I was giving the ref hell. Giving the ref hell one day, and he was he got me good. He just sort of came over and really calmly said to me, "You should go and do the laws of the game, because the moment you're making a fool of yourself." And it went from there. So I did do the laws of the game.
Yep.
And started officiating, and didn't play again after that. I don't think. I just took to it like a duck to water, and loved it. Yeah, absolutely loved it. Moved to Canberra, where I met yourself and the crew, not long after that, and that's where I did the majority of my development.
Yeah, oh, that's awesome. That's great, and I'm sure the Queenslanders will be happy to hear that, mate. Yeah, fantastic. And you're right. I was talking to Shrebre when he was telling his story too, and he also started out as a goalkeeper, and as many referees did, giving the ref plenty and thinking, well, here you go, maybe I can give something back to the game that way. So no, that's awesome. Yeah. And look, what are your memories of stepping through from those junior ranks up to the senior ranks of football?
Steep learning curve.
Yep.
I think going up through the ranks, having to adapt to like stronger and faster play and personalities. I think that's a big thing. Higher expectations from all parties. Of all parties, yeah. So higher expectations on myself and to perform at a higher level. Also, I think the higher up you go, I think the amount of under 8 games I've seen that are playing for sheep stations, in the higher up you go, they are actually playing for sheep stations, right? So just that difference of it isn't, but it is, was a challenge along the way.
Yeah.
I think, developing confidence, those communication skills, and learning to have presence as more and more, I think that became a really important thing as I went through the ranks.
And what do you mean by presence?
Definitely had some doubt. Sorry, mate. Sorry, Ben.
You're right.
Yeah, and I was going to say I definitely had doubt along the way, but also had a lot of support from mentors and a friendship group and things like that as well. Yeah.
And sorry, just around that presence, when you say that for young referees or inexperienced referees listening on, what do you mean by that presence? You had to learn to have some of that presence out on the field.
So I think to use something that we throw around a lot is a good referee is a referee that you don't notice, but when you're needed, you need to be noticed. Okay, you need to, and that comes with personality. It comes with the way you present yourself. It's giving off an image / a space around you that demands that level of respect in some ways as well. But just that's what presence for me is. Yeah.
And that's something that needs to be earned, doesn't it? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And look, certainly the game has changed in our country for the better recently. but certainly, it's still very much a male-dominated sport. But with the advent of the Women's World Cup, and we've seen our women's game just explode in this country, to the benefit of the game. Certainly, when you were coming through, it very much was a male-dominated sport. So, how did you find that as a younger referee coming through and dealing with all that sort of things too? I guess with colleagues, but also with coaches and players, etc.
Definitely very challenging. I think the number one thing was actually having really thick skin. Excuse me, having thick skin and not letting things affect me personally. There was a lot of abuse there. I mean, there still is, right? But I guess there was a group of us that came through at that time, and we were the first lot of females that came through to that high level. Definitely wasn't without its challenges. I think I had to be true to myself, and I really lent on my own inner strength and stay focused, knowing what I wanted and staying focused and getting through that, and having the support of people like yourself. That friendship group that we had, the referees group, that was probably the thing that got me through, because you'd have a tough weekend, we'd go out to training, and we'd have that camaraderie. And a good support system off the field as well, but that's not always available for people. But I think that the biggest thing that got me through that time was that friendship group. Yeah,
and that camaraderie is, the fact that we can still, after many years of not being on the field together, sit down and have a conversation now is something that, hopefully young referees can, keep those friendships and that belonging. You're right, it is so important to help support each other through that. I'm interested just a little bit deeper with when you're saying that inner strength. Like, what were some of those things that you told yourself when you came up against some difficulties?
It's not me, it's them.
That's a great one.
That's a really, really good one for any referee to own. It's not me, it's you. Having said that, there's also that element of having to do self-reflection and make sure that it's not you. But
absolutely.
That's best done with a mentor or a coach, or until you're experienced. And I think another thing, a lot of referees can be very self-critical, way too self-critical. So it's important to do that in a really positive mindset and framework, as opposed to just letting your own mind go off and think it is me. So but
when just the downward spiral happens, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So we don't want that happening. But it's not. You just can't own it. It's not me, it's you.
That's it. Yeah, it's their issue. That's right. Look, and some great insights there, Michelle. That's fantastic. Now it gives me goosebumps talking about it. But the moment you found out that you've been nominated for FIFA and you're going to have that FIFA badge, tell us about that.
I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it as well. It's all that hard work, right? It's all the dedication, the perseverance, the sacrifices that you've made. And also really scary at the same time, like massive elation, but also, oh wow, oh what now? And it's that next step of having to learn at that next level. Just exactly what you said, like thinking about it right now, obviously the smile on my face, smile on your face, goosebumps. It's that sense of achievement.
And that's great too, because for many of the listeners too, you'll remember taking those different steps through your career, from juniors to seniors, and then this level to this level, and reserve grade to first grade maybe, and then all the way up to FIFA. It's important to kind of, I guess, give yourself a little bit of pat on the back when you do take that next step, as you did. But then you're right, not be overawed, but go, geez, now the hard work really begins for the next whatever I'm looking for next. So no, that's fantastic, Michelle. That's great. So look, kind of culminating your active career, hard to probably pinpoint one, but if you can, what would be the memory that you take out from your active refereeing career?
I think officiating, probably the standout moment for me. As you said, there's so many, right? And it might be a little bit left field, but for me, it was actually being appointed to the Australian national National Youth League Australian Grand Final, because I was the first female to do that. That was as an assistant referee. And I think to this day, that's a really proudest, probably one of the proudest moments. I could talk about big games. I could talk about the under-19 World Cup and all those things, but really for me that was a big one, and probably it stands out to me.
And why was that so important for you?
I think that first female to be appointed to a national males final was just breaking the glass ceiling, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And now it's great because it's, we talk about standing on the shoulders of those that have gone before us. It's fantastic to see women, not just, even when you and I were running around, there's men and women in the W League, as it was back then. But it was all women. But now the women have not only lifted their levels to another level, but they're competing with the men in the men's league. And going great guns, not just domestically too, but internationally as well. So, that's great, and hopefully some of the young girls and guys that are listening in here can hear some of that too and take inspiration from what you've done and use that as the springboard forward, which is awesome. Yeah, beautiful. Look, obviously, let's move to the second half of the chapter now. So, I guess since retiring from
I have lost you. I'm sorry.
Oh. Have you got me now? Are we back?
I've got you back. Yep, I can hear you.
There we go. Must be these two remote communities of Adelaide and Canberra.
And Canberra, mate.
With the international, with the internet. So,
just dial up again.
yeah, that's it. I'll get the modem out. So yes, looks the second half of the story really is now your career post being on the field. In your role as head of referees with Football South Australia. And you would have seen, all the stuff that you went through, but now, a whole new range, and the game has changed a little bit, and maybe some of it hasn't. But look, I guess from from your experience, what are the greatest aspects or characteristics that referees beginning the journey bring into the game that you've seen so far?
I think the energy of the youngsters coming through. I think that's that youthful energy and the eagerness to learn, and the real love for football. I think they're the things we need to capture, and that can remind all of us. And what I really love about being involved with community is, each time I get out there with a new person and they're learning, like they're scared, but their energy and their love for the game inspires me over and over and over again, and reminds me of why I do what I do. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's awesome. So then, I guess on the flip side of that, not to be a positive and a negative, but there's that great stuff that they bring to the game too. Once we get people into the game and into refereeing, what do you find that referees, and it doesn't just have to be young people, right? This could, you could be a 55-year-old just starting out in your first game. What do you think they need the most support and assistance with in refereeing?
I think the number one thing is we need to create that safe environment. We all understand those challenges, and we all understand that we don't always have a lot of control about that environment. But, having the support of federations to try and create a safe environment, I think that's the most important thing. What they can control, having confidence and learning game management. Confidence. Fake it till you make it, 100%. Build that confidence. Cross that white line and put on the armor and go confidently and learn and match management. I think if you've got those two, learning the laws and what's a foul and what's not a foul, super important, but selling that is more important.
It's all those soft skills.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be wrong, be confidently wrong, huh?
Be confidently wrong, 100%. And then go and do the self-reflection and go, oh no, it was me, not them.
Yes, that's it. That's great. So look, I guess summing things up really then, from what you've seen, and this could be a question that goes on for 4 hours really, but what advice that anywhere along the pathway, not just at the beginning, what advice could you give people listening now that would be beneficial in, I guess, keeping them in the game, keeping them learning, and then keeping them enjoying their football?
Yeah. Surround yourself with good people. I think that's the first thing. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's a learning opportunity. Absolutely. Like refereeing can be tough, but celebrate the good moments. And I think if you put those two things together of surrounding yourself with good people and not being afraid to make those mistakes, it can be tough, but it can also be incredibly rewarding if you're in that sort of environment. Number one thing is enjoy yourself. Go out there with a smile on your face. You know, what happened last week happened last week. Go out there, put a smile on your face, go out there and enjoy yourself.
Oh, mate. And that's why we get involved in football in the first place, right?
Absolutely.
That's a great reminder for all of us to get back to the roots of why we got involved. So, no, look, that's fantastic advice, Michelle. And look, I just want to thank you on behalf of, me with your active career, but all of those referees in South Australia that are benefiting from your experience and nationally. And keep up the great work. It's great to see you involved and passing on your knowledge and experience. And I'm sure the listeners will take a lot out of what you've spoken about today. So thanks again, Michelle. Really appreciate you joining us here on Next Level Refs.
Absolute pleasure, guys. Thank you very much. See ya.
Thanks.